Hey everyone, today's video is a costume video. I'm, a very simple costume, a cat. Brought it together as quickly as possible for this. For this video, I wanted to help you enhance and complete your costume this Halloween or for any cosplaying that you're doing. Think about when you complete an outfit and how a perfume really brings the outfit together and projects the sort of confidence or vibe that you're aiming for that day. Applying this to costumes, the perfume is like the often forgotten final touch. It's the addition that makes your monster more believable, the piece de resistance to your created artwork that wraps the costume all together. These can apply to cosplay costumes as well. Consider Death's son in Soul Eater. He would smell undead, and therefore he would smell like my first option, which is ceramic representing undead. So with that in mind, let's get into the recommendations I have for more common costumes and the perfumes that I would match with them to bring out their essence more fully. The first perfume selection is Ceramic by Andrea Maack, and like I said, this represents an undead costume or a zombie costume. This smells like the scent of dusty rubble and fresh florals. I sampled this one because it was reviewed as a dead skin scent, like the scent of skin after death. To me, it's squeaky and clean and dusty and cement simultaneously. It's like you're trying to zhuzh up the undead to make them smell better. And this costume would work even better if you were like an undead construction worker or ballerina or gymnast or someone who's excessively working with chalk or cement. This would also really be good for just a straight undead costume like in Beetlejuice or Tim Burton's movies, but especially Beetlejuice, like the people who are dead in that, they really smell like this. The next suggestion is Them by Neandertal for a werewolf costume. I guess this could also apply to a furry costume as well. This perfume is a natural, pleasant, almost like a BO smell. It's a bit salty from the seaweed and ambergris. There's an animalic, aquatic aspect, like good smelling sweat. It dies down softer and more like a traditional skin scent. Not sweet, but sort of what you'd expect from the name Neandertal Them. The carrot seeds and hinoki are likely making this perfume interesting for me because I tend to gravitate towards those scent notes, especially recently. And this is my most naturally animalic, BO, salty scent. And although it doesn't have a wet dog smell, I feel like this perfume would enhance a werewolf costume wonderfully. The next suggestion is for a vampire, especially like Nosferatu or Dracula. This one is actually called Nosferatu, it's by Heretic, and I can't really think of anything else that suits better the vampire essence, especially if you're going for a vintage vampire. This smell opens with wet, damp stone that is continually pelted down with dripping water for eternity. It's never given a chance to dry. It mixes with dried purple flowers that have fallen into these eternally existing puddles. And this is all occurring inside an old, abandoned, decrepit, vampiric, gothic castle. It dries down into a more fresh purple floral, like you're in a graveyard with flowers adorning every grave, and these ones are fresh as opposed to the initial dried flower scent. And there's still some petrichor smell, and the fresh lilacs, iris, and violet are mixing together with the stone graves. It smells both vintage and modern, haunting, gothic. It is directly inspired by the film Nosferatu, and so to me it best fits the vampiric energy. I skipped over the witch costumes because I just did a whole video on a bunch of different witchy scents, so if your costume is a witch, go and check out that video and see which one fits you best. The next one is one of my favorites, I would think actually that this perfume is specifically in my top 10 of all time. This is Ode to Dullness by Juliette Has a Gun, and I think that this matches the costume of a cracked porcelain doll, like the ones where people do expensive face makeup to emulate a cracked porcelain face. This perfume would go perfectly with that. It is a tangy, my skin but better scent. If you like Glossier flankers, like Dew or Weave, you would like this one a lot. This is a woody skin scent. Definitely give it a try if you like skin scents or comforting sweater scents or anything like that. It was an immediate love for me. This smells like the dollhouse level in Alice Madness Returns. If you ever played that video game, it is one of my favorite video games, and this one smells like the dolls in that. Like, this reminds me of that video game, but specifically the dolls, the cracked, decaying dolls. It has a bit of fruit, like a sour cherry. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what the fruit is in this. It smells like decaying dolls and dollhouses. There's like a hint of blood or something. It's got the sweetness and broken innocence of Alice in it. There is a sour fruit note, especially in the dry down. Most of all, it smells like a warm, comforting sweater. It is the smell of doll skin, but with some horror elements. I really like this one. The next perfume is recommended for any sort of spaceman costume. I'm sure it could apply to any space costume, but specifically like a spaceman or Star Trek or Star Wars cosplay, something like that. And the perfume is Ego Stratis, also by Juliette Has a Gun. And this smells like a spaceship, just straight on. Like cold metal in space. It's a unisex scent that leans slightly masculine. It reminds me just a tiny bit of Alien Goddess, like by Mugler, as if they're in the same universe. This one is perfect for impersonating a spaceman, an astronaut, a Star Trek or Star Wars cosplayers, because these people, these cosplays, all have characters that are in close proximity to the metallic spaceships, and that's what this smells like. I find myself smelling my wrists a lot when I wear this one. Very pleasant, long-term smell, the perfect, slightly masculine leaning unisex scent. The next one is a perfume recommended for ghosts, and this one is Lunar Dust by Mabelle. This one smells totally like the moon. Cold, dusty, no sweetness, pure molecular skin scent. Very pleasant, it's dry and woody. It is exactly as described in the name, Lunar Dust. There's no sandalwood pickle smell, which is pretty typical for a not sweet sandalwood smell for me. It is very light, hard to pinpoint what you're even smelling. However, my boyfriend was like barely any experience with fragrances just from what I present to him. He was able to distinguish that this was a sandalwood scent. So it is a strong sandalwood scent in that sense. Woody, dry, dusty, chilling. What you'd imagine moon dust would smell like. If you've ever played Mario games, especially Odyssey, imagine the moon castle stages and how cold and dusty and crystalline and airy it would smell in those levels. It's like crisp winter air. It's perfect for a ghost because it's cold and dusty, like wisps of light floating spirits. There's an enemy in Skyrim that kind of reminds me of the spirit wisps. And this could also smell like the ghosts that you trap inside bottles inside Zelda games as well. This next one is an especially beautiful perfume, and this is 1111 Vanilla by Lake and Skye. And this one is matching an angel or an angelic character. It's the most sublime scent I've ever smelt since my favorite scent, Rosie by Rosie Jane. It sort of reminds me of that one in that it makes me feel like myself, it makes me feel like I'm in my space, in my zone. It's ethereal, airy, sweet, dreamlike, like a pink cloud with grounding molecular skin scent in the background. The special notes in this make me wonder how unique this perfume might actually be. It is really something special, very memorable. And above all, it is supremely angelic. Absolutely what an angel would wear, or a cosplay character of pure innocence and goodness The last perfume is one that I've talked about in several videos before, but it is one of my favorites, and I just couldn't help but include it. So this one is for a fairy costume, and this one is Lost Cherry by Tom Ford. And if you need a substitute that's cheaper, I would recommend Love Fest Burning Cherry by Kaola. This one lends to the fairy fantasy because of its dark, dripping, somewhat sour berry elements. It's decadent and mysterious. It is a lucid dream in a dark black and red city. You are the seductive danger that lurks the streets. This perfume makes me feel like a different person. So delicious and sweet but dark, deep and swirly, ancient and young. A fairy luring you underground to be kept in the world forever as a little human pet might smell like this. It's debaucherous, like the sloshing of wine out of the side of the cup when the party gets too rowdy. It smells like what I imagine a sweet, tempting poison would smell like, left alone in a goblet with a personal little note in order for you to drop your defenses and drink it. It particularly really just smells like what I would imagine a seductive fairy would smell like. And that's all the recommendations I have for you today. That's all the costumes I have for you. If you have any questions, or if there's any costume that you have that you maybe want a recommendation specifically, I could try and figure something out. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're going for as Halloween too. That would be nice to know. And I hope you have a good day. Bye.